Hi. I look fancy today. Anyways, I wanted to hop on here. I'm debating if this is going to be under a minute or not because one of the downsides of Instagram is that you can't really search it effectively. And if I make it longer than a minute, then it's easier to find because then it'll go to IGTV, but we're splitting hairs. So I wanted to just hop on and talk about like a really cool experience that happened at work, and I'm like super like gassed up about it. So my team is, I'll say, unique and progressive in that we have monthly diversity, inclusion, and belonging conversations. And today with two of my coworkers, I had the opportunity to lead a conversation around mental health. And it's not something that's really ever been done before where I work. I think one woman said that she was in like another team or something that had done something around this, but for the most part, like it was new for everybody to talk about this topic at work, and for some people just like even talking about the topic at all. So it was really cool. Like this is going on IGTV. All right, we're already at a minute 20. Sorry, I'm also holding my phone, so it's like jiggling around. So it was really cool in that like I have personal experience and working towards professional experience. We had one woman that was affected by someone at our job like committing suicide, and so she helped to lead it and just like generally wanted to talk about it. So it was cool, and I think honestly like selfless, and that it was like she picked the topic but was willing to like let people help her and not make it just about what she wanted, because she recognized that like this wasn't an area of expertise. It wasn't something that she had a lot of information in. And so my friend, coworker and friend, she's my ray of sunshine every day. And I told this to her. I screamed it across an aisle at her. I'm totally in her fan club. Anyways, she used to be a social worker before she started working where we work. So it was cool that like we could leverage different perspectives to help provide a work appropriate conversation, which gets really hairy when you think about like HR and like legal things. And so we did like a month's worth of planning. I will be honest though, I found 80% of the articles and materials that we use. And I was just sitting in a meeting. It was a chaotic meeting. I was bored and I just like started planning the meeting. And then I took it to the team and they're like, this is fantastic. And I was like, I was bored in another meeting, not paying attention. So we just like worked from that and refined it. The reason why I want to talk about it is because the conversation was amazing and super effective. And I think it's a real example around how we can begin to talk about these things at work. And I know like every company, every department, every team, like it varies in terms of interest, expertise, ability to have these conversations. But for those of you on the internet that are interested in like doing these types of things, I like send me a DM. I'm more than happy to like send you what we did and like the resources. I had some prompts in there. We identified goals and rules of engagement and making it a safe space. So it gets a little tricky because people have varying experiences, and how do you create an environment that everyone can learn something? Like it's harder than you might think, or maybe not. I don't know where you guys stand, but it went really well. And it's kind of funny because we didn't really use any of the stuff that like we planned. But it was worth it because it really helped to give people that maybe had less experience or weren't as comfortable a sense of like what they were walking into. I also put a plug in around the fact that, listening is contributing. You help to validate someone's experience by showing up and being present. And learning can mean different things. If we just want people to learn something. That can be learning, you know, about other people on the team, learning about how we feel about what we do as a department, about the company where we work, about things that do and don't work for other people to help inform, you know, things that we could try out. And like also we had industry stats, so like what's going on in corporate America. So we really tried to think about, in a non-triggering way, how can we create opportunity for people to talk about, you know, personal life if they so choose, as well as professional life if they so choose. So like one of the things you have to think about is that it's open to our entire team. So like managers show up, and that's something that we talked about at a higher level, just like having comfort in work relationships and when people feel like they can share or not share. We talked about we talked about like team norms that we have or don't have, or how people feel about certain things. I brought up some like just self-reflection points around like messaging that we internalize, biases that we experience. And I think what was interesting was that people felt, and like just based on how the conversation shifted, like people wanted to lean in and they wanted to feel more empowered. Stop it, you little maniac. They wanted to feel more empowered to share their story and help other people, whether that's directly or creating an environment that encourages people to like open up and to be their best selves. And it was difficult because I made a joke at the beginning. I was like, me and the other lady that used to be a social worker, we were like, we could sit here and just talk to each other, but like that's not the point. So we want people to contribute. And it was like we were joking, but at the same time, it was hard because when you're like really passionate about something and you have some level of experience or expertise, like I will be honest, if you want to have one of these conversations or like anything really, is like you want to talk a lot. And I had to like chill and be like, Ansley, this is not about you. It's not. So I just felt like when I think about why I'm here and on this earth, like it's to help other people and to empower other people. And it was really cool to do it in a space and in like effective way that like isn't often done. And it felt really good. Like I feel great. I'm tired, but I feel fantastic. And I just felt like I did something today. Like I actually helped people that, how can I say it? So on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, people find the content they're looking for. I think with like, we have these sessions so people know that these types of topics are coming up. So you find people that are inclined because they're interested in the topic, want to learn more, want to share their stories, learn from other people. My team overall is pretty decent about showing up. But like today was interesting because like in leading a session where like I did speak up more than I might otherwise for some of these things, you just want to give people, you know, opportunity to talk, was that there are people there that like I've never worked with on my team or that I don't interact with. And I got an opportunity to grow closer to them and to provide a space where we could make a connection and sit in community and feel like we can move forward, knowing more, having learned something, feel like we have more information about what's going on. And like one of the things that we're going to do is put together like a laundry list of resources that we have been using and are planning. So we've got to build it out a little bit more. But like I said, I am more than happy for anyone that wants to learn how to engage in these conversations, things to think about, if it's something you want to like bring up to your job or, you know, a group that you're a part of, you know, how can we talk about these things? And it was just really effective. And I just wanted to like be proud of myself, but also like offer up the fact that we did all this planning, but people like really leaned in and we took the conversation wherever we wanted it to go. And so part of it is like you plan a lot and then you just have to think on the fly. It's an art. Like it's less of a science and more of an art. So yeah, I'll stop talking. I would love to know in the comments if other people have had experience trying to have these conversations, whether it's work or personal life or like social activities. Like, how did it go? Was it a positive experience, negative experience? Like, what did you learn? Do you have tips that you can share with other people? This is one of the downsides of Instagram, is that it might, like, it's not necessarily searchable. So unless you're like looking at this or looking at my IGTV, or I strike gold with a hashtag and it shows up, this might not really appear. So I'm hoping people see it, but I just felt compelled to share that. All right. I'm gonna go and separate my cats because they are starting to slap box right now. So I will talk to you guys later, and thanks for tuning in. Bye, guys.